So, what is your name?
My name is Royo. I'm the Secretary General of the Public Diplomacy Council of Catalonia.
Okay. Where were you born?
Here in Barcelona.
And where do you live now?
In a town next to Barcelona.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
Well, I've been working for the European Commission for 12 years. And since February 2013, I'm the Secretary General of this public-private partnership, which is the Council of Diplomacy of Catalonia.
Can you tell me about the
Diplomacy Council.
Yeah, Diplomacy Council.
Yeah, this is a public-private partnership which is composed of the government of Catalonia, the Barcelona City Council, and the councils of the major cities in Catalonia, but also the 12 Catalan universities, business schools, and chambers of commerce, all the chambers of commerce of Catalonia, trade unions, employers associations, saving banks, namely La Caixa, which is the biggest one right now, social associations, and FC Barcelona, which is probably the most famous brand that we've got worldwide. And our main goal is to foster solid relationships between the institutions and the civil society of Catalonia and the rest of the world. So we try to explain Catalonia abroad, and we try to import some of the most relevant discussions, international discussions, here to Catalonia, so as to involve local associations and the local civil society into these international discussions.
Okay. How are you helping Catalonian independence? What have you been doing over the past few weeks?
Well, I have to say that first of all, I'm mainly focused on the defense of the right to hold a referendum. Although personally I would support independence, we have a clear mandate from our partnership, which is to work for this referendum to take place and to explain it worldwide. So we're mainly focused on that, because you have to take into account that unlike Scotland, where they already have an agreed referendum which will be held next September, here in Catalonia we have the commitment to hold a referendum next November, but it doesn't have the support of the Spanish government yet. So we're still working on that. We're still working on convincing Madrid to let us vote and convincing the rest of Europe, mainly, but also other international partners, that we should be able to hold a referendum here in Catalonia. Because, well, according to the latest opinion polls, up to 55% of Catalans would support independence, 30% would support status quo, but the only way to know it is by asking people through a ballot box. That's how political conflicts are faced in the 21st century in Europe. So we should be able to ask people what their will is, and we are mainly focused on that. So not that much on independence or non-independence, but on the fact that we should be able to hold a referendum, and also take into account that according to opinion polls, up to 80% of Catalans want to hold a referendum. That means not only those who are in favor of independence, but also many who are against it would like to be asked about this question, and we are mainly focused on that right now.
Okay. When did you first become involved in this movement, and why?
Well, I've been working for the European Commission. I should start maybe by saying that I was always attracted by the international relations, diplomacy, and so on, but I decided not to join the Spanish diplomacy because I feel Catalan and I want my country to be a normal country, which means to be a state, an independent state. I'm also very pro-European and also very concerned about, let's say, global governance. And taking this into account, I decided to join the European Commission. This is the EU diplomatic corps in a way. I've been working there for several years, but I took a leave for 3 years when I joined the government of Catalonia. I was Secretary for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation since 2004 to 2007. And there, for instance, I tried to internationalize Catalonia to communicate that we are a country which is very much concerned about Europe and global governance. We decided, for instance, to support several programs of the UN. We are the first region to support UN in several programs. We support UNIFEM. We support the global campaign for the Millennium Development Goals, FAO, and some other UN agencies. And in a way that we were trying to send out a message that we were a positive actor in the international arena. So I guess that it also helped to communicate that we do exist and we are a reliable partner, an international partner. I went back to the Commission in the year 2007, and finally I joined this council just 1 year ago. And in this job, of course, I mainly focus on this political process. As I said, mainly working on, trying to communicate why we want to hold this referendum, how we do this. We hold, for instance, we organize academic events in foreign universities. We've been in London, we've been in Paris, we've been in Lisbon, in Sweden, in Netherlands, in Norway. Next week we're going to Berlin and to Switzerland, to Geneva, so as to discuss what is happening here in Catalonia. What else? We are also very active in social media and in the net. We've got Twitter, which is This is Catalonia, where we communicate what is happening here in Catalonia. We also try to, as I said, to import some of the most relevant European discussions here to Catalonia. For instance, we organize an event on all these xenophobic and populist movements, which are currently quite powerful in several European countries. It took place half a year ago because we envisaged, we foresaw that these populist movements could have a good result in the European election. And that was also a way to convey, to send out a message that we are an international partner which is also committed to the fight for democracy and against fascism and so on. It's a way also to help the political process that we are developing here in Catalonia. This is a peaceful and clearly democratic process, nothing to do with situations in Eastern Europe, so to say.
Okay. Why is Catalonian independence so important?
Well, it's so important. I would say the most important thing is not independence. Of course, it's important because I want my country to be a normal country and it means to be an independent country. But the most important thing is to be free and to be able to decide what our common political future should be here in Catalonia. So first of all, we should be able to hold a referendum to decide whether we want to be an independent country, whether we want to be part of federal Spain, whether we want to keep on being in this situation, the status quo, or so on. So first and foremost, we should be Democrats. We should be free to decide our own future, because this is the basis of democracy.
What is the best possible outcome?
The best possible outcome, from my point of view, the best possible outcome is that we hold a legal referendum, a proper referendum, with the, let's say, green light from the Spanish government, that there is a clear democratic mandate in favor of independence, if that is what Catalans want, and then that there is a reasonable negotiation with Madrid and the international partners so as to implement this democratic mandate.
Resulting in independence and membership in the EU. What is the worst possible outcome? What outcome do you fear the most?
That the main Spanish political parties keep on denying the right of Catalans to hold a vote on the political future. This is disastrous, not only for us Catalans, but also for the rest of Spaniards. because it says a lot about the quality of democracy in Spain. This is worrying, I would say.
So people from around the world may be seeing this video. What's the most important thing that they should know about what's happening here?
Well, the Catalans want to vote, and that the Spanish government and the main Spanish political parties doesn't want us to vote because they're afraid of the result of this vote. So please help us to convince the Madrid power, the Madrid political parties to let us vote.